is just about underway. Here we go, and it's the Blaze. We'll get the first crack on the first possession. Get it to their dynamic point guard in Idris DeLeon. Stephen Hoare to Mark Worthington. Loses his balance and burps it up. Daniel Dillon comes down, kicks it to Dorsey. Good extra pass to Yinde Ubaka. Bang! Hits one against his old team, starts the game off with a 3-ball.
Always good when you're a shooter to get that early one out of the way, and that was great ball movement by the Tigers.
Worthington. Stephen Hoare up top. Gets it to Adam Gibson, who's been standing for him. Good ball fake by Stephen Hoare, but he shoots an air ball. We'll go the other direction.
First two possessions a bit messy, Steve, just for the Gold Coast. Need to just settle down. Maybe, I think the idea was right. Try to find Worthington in the post, get him involved early. The other one, Steve, that you mentioned, Adam Gibson, 2 Player of the Weeks in a row, or he should have got the second one, I should say, but just outstanding shooting the ball and has to move across to that 2 spot because of DeLeon.
They are super exciting to watch when they get it going. Ron Dorsey, man, you cannot defend that. Beautiful shot in rhythm, going left, knocks it down 5-0 to the Tigers. Hoare to Worthington. The body contact is finished by Anthony Petrie. I'm not sure who gets the basket.
I think that one was down, but Petrie sure made sure of it, Steve.
Yeah, I don't think you'll get too upset with your players for showing that type of commitment on offensive boards. Dorsey kicks it over to Ubaka. He hesitates several times before he rattles one in. Yinde Ubaka started off with his first 2 shots. He's got 5 of the team's 7.
We've seen this before with Ubaka. Can be a very, very streaky shooter. Gets involved with the defensive end this time with a foul, but he was a little overmatched in the post. He was in a world of hurt.
Mark Worthington getting a good seal on him.
20.
DeLeon on the baseline. Struggling to get it in. Eventually they get it to Gibson. Tough shot. Tommy Greer couldn't do anything more to prevent that. Greer travels.
I think he had laid that up before he'd even caught it, Steve, and that's a little mistake there by Greer, but you could see the speed with which Melbourne is capable of getting the ball down the floor.
No doubt about that. They want to get their fair share of transition baskets. Idris DeLeon, he's got this thing on a string. He is so much fun to watch. Gibson, the hottest player in the country right now. Petrie. Nice pass to Stephen Hoare. That'll count.
You know, this is why Joey Wright's been so high on Petrie, Steve, since he was stuck in the ABA. He's a smart player. You know, he really is. And barring injuries, which he's picked up a number of over the last few years, I think he'd be one of the better undersized big men in our league.
I agree with you, and he is deceptively strong. Not many people move him around when he's on the floor. Stephen Hoare shoots a flat one. Petrie gets the offensive rebound, throws it away. Dillon showing his speed. Nice pass to Yinde Ubaka. Couldn't slow down in time.
You can see the intent here. I mean, anytime a loose ball ends up in anyone's hand, the first thing they're looking to do is push it up, and I think that's, you know, tremendous to watch. It's going to be a case of who maintains some level of control during that. We've seen a few turnovers already.
Gibson skips it to DeLeon. He is quite capable from the perimeter. He comes up a little bit long, but straight as an arrow. Ubaka to Greer. Gets his feet set. He can knock this down. Can't get great offensive rebound by Daniel Dillon. Just out-jumped. Probably timed it better than Mark Worthington.
Known for his hustle, you know, known for the small percentage things that he does that all add up towards the end of the game when you look at that sheet.
Petrie with the smaller Daniel Dillon on his back. Worthington with an excellent baseline cut, gets the finish.
We saw the Tigers in the zone there too, Steve. It'll be interesting to see whether they stay in that defensive alignment.
And again, the Melbourne Tigers, even on made baskets, are pushing it and putting the pressure on the Gold Coast Blaze. Both teams want an up-tempo.
Yeah, we heard the coaches in your interview before the game, Steve. Both of them mentioned that they think it will go up and down. Now, when you've got coaches saying that, you know, they're telling their players that their players are coming out. And as a player, you know, I mean, to get the freedom to play that way, they're going to say yes every time. They're going to push that ball up.
Yeah, nothing better than your coach encouraging you. Up-tempo, take some chances, and giving you the green light. Daniel Dillon with that unique kind of falling back on his heels free throw style gets them both to go and gives the Tigers a 3-point lead.
Unique is generous. He shoots a fadeaway there from the line.
De Leon with his second 3-point attempt. That one rattles out as well. Offensive rebound to Gibbo. Petrie rips it through on the baseline. Stephen Hoare picks up the foul. Anthony Petrie grimacing a little bit.
Just see on the replay there, Steve, one of the things Petrie does is he's extremely active underneath the basket, and I mean completely underneath the teeth of the goal. And that is that's a tremendous asset to have. He'll keep that ball alive many times during this night doing that type of effort point.
Dillon to Ibaka. He's had the hot hand so far. Finally misses one. Hoare with a rebound. De Leon's got numbers. He bobbles it, and Ibaka comes up with it. Now the Tigers decide to slow it down. They want Cam Trigard down low. They get it to him. Trigard with a fall away. Tough shot. He makes it look easy.
Patented shot, and you know, just that step back. He is about 6'9", legit, and when he falls back like that, and from the release point, it's almost impossible to block.
And those shots look so soft, and his free throws look so hard.
He just needs to shoot a regular jump shot from the free throw line, perhaps, Steve.
Maybe he ought to hitch and hesitate on his free throws like he does.
Look at this.
Petrie on the offensive glass. This game's got plenty of highlights already.
Steve, this is one of the rare nights that the Gold Coast plays are bigger than their opponents. And you can see it coming through on the offensive ball.
Dorsey pulls the trigger quick. Tommy Greer comes down with the offensive rebound. Dillon gets to the rim. Super sweet drive as he kisses one off the window, high off the backboard.
You get two effort guys out there that are outstanding on the floor, one at each end. Anthony Petrie and Daniel Dillon. They're great to watch.
Worthington with a long three-pointer over Tommy Greer.
Steve, as we see Von Mabry call a foul in the open floor, did you see Cam Trigard didn't even step out of bounds to pass that ball in? The old Kareem play. Nowhere near it, Steve.
They want a fast-paced game, and that's what we've got. Tigers with a 2-point lead, 15-13.
I've travelled the world and nothing compares to King Size Big and Tall. You won't find a bigger range of big brand names for big and tall guys like you and me. And King Size are big on service. Big range, big brand names, big service. It all adds up to that winning edge. That's why I shop here. King Size Big and Tall, CBD Brisbane, Mount Gravatt, Strathpine and Southport.
This thing up, then you can filter out to your man. Let's get back and get him, all right? Transition. After this, watch for them to go into a zone. If they're going zone, we're in our fist set with our back screen here. Swing it. Look for the guy coming through in the flash, okay? If we're if on our next day of ball, we're gonna get into pink and see what they look like in the zone. Back to two. All right, pink, back to two. Stand man right now. Stand man. 1, 2, 3.
Jeff, we're seeing that a lot where teams will come out of a break. Another team's trying to execute a play down the stretch, and the opponent will come out in a zone. Really kind of mix things up. And the zone has been doing a great job of really stifling teams' offenses, really stagnating them, I should say.
Well, a lot of times you go to that zone, Steve, because you want to really get a handle on whether that team's going to burn you on that zone. Now, sometimes they'll burn you, but until you've been burned, you go ahead and run with it. So you can slow them down.
Well, Jeff, what you were talking about before on the inbounds, okay, Petrie puts it in.
Yep.
And it's Tommy Greer who throws it in.
I mean, At least pretend to get that second foot down, Tommy.
He got it in quick, and that's what the Melbourne Tigers are trying to do. They have been super quick out of the gates, even on Mays, especially on that one.
Steve, we used to be convinced at the Melbourne Tigers that Brian Gorgon was actually keeping the nets tighter at the Melbourne Rod Laver Arena just to slow it down coming out of the hoop, and I think that stuff happens sometimes.
Of course it does.
We wanted that ball to drop out and let Drewy and Leonard and those guys get running. Gorgon wasn't so keen on that.
Well, they used to have those real stiff nets at Poly Pavilion when John Wooden was coaching UCLA. He used to take the ball about 4 seconds to come out of the net of the opposing team. I think they used to switch the nets at halftime.
Yeah. John Wooden, heck, going back a long way. It might have been peach baskets back then.
Yeah, we're talking the 70s. Dorsey comes up short his three-point attempt. I wouldn't say that the Blaze got the stop.
No, they got the miss.
Gibson, who's been on fire, comes up short as well at the three-point line. Garlick. Golding had a good look at the three-point line, decided against it. Worthington draws the contact, as he does so well.
That'll be the last look Goulding gives up tonight. He hasn't met a lot that he doesn't like, and rightly so. He's a good shooter, especially from straight ahead. And you see the replay here, Steve. Just Worthington has got a lot of nice, nifty post moves, and he's got a really bulky upper body, so he can really draw that contact and force the referee to make a call.
He gets those so often, and if you watch him on TV, you must think, you know what? I'm not going to fall for that. I won't get my hands in. And he does it to everyone.
If I'm Trevor Gleeson right now, just switching over to Melbourne, that's creature of habit. He was there for so long. But with the Melbourne Tigers right now, Steve, I'm worried about the offensive boards that the Gold Coast Blaze are getting. They have had, 4 that I can recall keep that ball alive.
Well, I spoke to Joey before the game, and he said that's what they worked on all week of training, was getting to the glass and really making them pay. Golding goes upstairs to the jam. The pressure at half court takes its toll. The Blaze picking up the intensity on D.
We got a 2-1-2 press here. Just trying to pressure the ball, make the Tigers think about it, slow them down.
Walker. Good soft shot. He had a good look from about 17 feet. I always think you're wide open there. That's a tough shot. He was fading left, had to double pump it, but the result was the one he wanted.
He's more comfortable on the move, so sometimes those players have just got to get themselves in motion.
Worthington. Mark Worthington's hit a couple of tough shots. He's already got 11. Man, that was a sneaky 11, but I tell you what, when you're 4-4 from the field, you can get him in a hurry. He's got 8 points in the paint. Also picked up a couple of rebounds as well.
I like what the Blaze are doing defensively, Steve. They're just taking the Tigers out of the rhythm. I know Tragar hits that shot, and he's capable of that. As Trevor Gleeson said before the game, he can hit it from anywhere. But they're really making the Tigers become decision makers in the half court. And I think that's a smart idea.
Worthington. Eventually, Adam Gibson has it, waits for the on ball. Hudson has a look, throws it up to Garlick. Nice pass. He had a smaller Daniel Dillon on him who was trying to beat him to the spot. Lost vision of the ball. Dillon skips it to Ibaka. Tragar just waits for a little space. Turnaround jump shot. Can't get the roll, but gets a deflection. He has got a number of weapons in his arsenal.
Just the touch you talked about, the rotation of the ball, the way it drops in the hoop. Looked like it was coming out, still fell.
He's got 6 already. Mark Worthington tries to add 3 more to his account. Another offensive rebound by the Blaze. This time it's Will Hudson doing the dirty work as he always does. Blaze on top by 2.
Right now, the offensive board, Steve, sorry to sound like a broken record, but it's just extremely hurtful for the Tigers. It's really making them pay here.
Both teams blazing away, as you see, field goal percentage 64 and 58.
makes for a fantastic spectacle.
It is.
It may be a case of whoever plays D the first will win, because it's really an up-and-down contest right now. And the difference, really, in the scoreline of a basket or two has been generally coming down to rebounds, and in particular, offensive boards for the Gold Coast Blaze.
Well, the basketball purists would be saying, oh, there needs to be more defense, it needs to be more physical, but I tell you, this is fun to watch. Getting the ball to their scorers, and the scorers are getting it done. Petrie. He's short. Tom Garliff can't reel it in with his left hand.
Let's see what the Blaze do now. They're dropping back again, basically picking up their minute and a half. They haven't really dropped into a zone yet. Just interesting to watch them. They're changing defensive schemes just about every play.
Daniel Dillon on a nice pass to Tim Lang.
Lang stepping in, of course, with the injury to Matt Burston. He's a big body.
He's given him some good minutes, too, for the last couple of weeks. Garliff. Tight wire. Act on the sideline, on the baseline.
They're going to call that foul on the floor. Hudson was fouled before he went into his shot motion, so they'll inbound it under the hoop. Right now, these inbound passes under the hoop, Steve, are a problem for the Tigers, too, because athletic length of the Blaze is very dangerous in these situations here.
Golding in rhythm, knocks it down. That'll be great for his confidence. As he gives the Blaze a 2-point lead. Dillon. Nice pass to Walker. Charge. Will Hudson doing the little things like he does week after week. Offensive rebounding, plays good post defense, and right there gets there outside the circle and draws the charge.
They've done their homework on Lucas Walker, Steve. As we see in the replay here, he just doesn't look overly comfortable when he's driving against the defensive pressure. Great open floor player, great mid-range motion player, as we saw earlier, but not really a fantastic driver of the ball when the defense is in the area.
Because that's a little 1-2 bounce dribble,
that's right.
10-footer off the glass. And those are the things that you pick up with experience, because as you play in this league for a number of years, your game has to continue to elevate, and that'll be something that he'll pick up.
Comes out of the really, really strong St. Mary's program. Been a great developing ground for a number of Australian kids.
Garliff trying to get all the way to the hoop. Written hard by Lang. That's who picked up the foul. And what's Lang got to do to get his name on his jersey?
Well, you know, he's in that holding pattern right now. If we see the replay, Tommy Garliff, who, speaking of young players, they're pretty high on Tom down here at the Gold Coast, and a really, really solid athlete. Very high on his potential. But, Steve, you might have to talk to Trevor about, you know, fixing up your boy Lang. He's struggling.
I mean, he's playing, you know, he's not playing starter minutes, but I mean, he's playing substantial enough minutes to get his name on his
sort of like, just keep the seat warm for Matt Burston, and we'll worry about your name some other day.
Blaze now the 4-point lead, and en route to a 100-point game. What I always like to see. Tigers have drawn a couple of blanks on the last couple of possessions. Kadib reads it well. Pulls it up in time to get the steal and the 2 baskets.
Fantastic open court team, Steve. Once they come up with that ball, they really motor to the basket.
Lang to Benny Lewis. Ubaka, shot clock down to 4. Launches a long 3, comes up short. Ball's loose. Garliff comes up with it. Got plenty of time to get a good shot.
Wow. The Tigers were doing their best to get back on the defensive end there, but couldn't get set, and as a result, have a look here, Steve. Just Garliff trying desperately to get it to Hudson, and him trying desperately to get the ball. So there was a lot of effort in that play, and Hudson's going to shoot 2 free throws. But Steve, what about Hudson? I mean, he's an import that basically has been asked to come off the bench and you know, just play that role bits and pieces. get some boards, crash the boards.
And he looks comfortable. Early in the year he was starting, but he looks comfortable coming off the bench too. I just think he's one of those players. He's very professional.
Yep.
You ask him to get something done, and he gets it done.
Commented during the week in the press, if I've got to come off the bench, that's what I'll do. That's what I'm paid to do.
He does just that. Tigers throw it away. A little mental lapse there, but there wasn't much time.
Well, there was more time than 0. The clock right now shows 0. Joey Wright's lobbying the referees for about a half a second. And
Was never touched, okay.
the Brains Trust is going to go and check it out.
Come back. We got 2 seconds, boys.
2 seconds.
Got touched on the
I
court.
thought he would be happy with
never got touched on
half
the
a
court.
second. So, but nobody touched the ball. So, therefore, it comes back to where it was when it was passed.
He goes to the Gold Coast Blaze, and they've got plenty of time to get a good shot on a well-executed baseline out of bounds. Golding stays in bounds somehow. That won't count. Ball was in flight for at least 2 seconds.